Welcome everyone to this maybe amazing live stream. In case internet, we have some frame drop already, because why not? Before we start, of course, here just some daily life. You ask for more T2 stuff, or at least some, not all, but some ask for more T2 stuff. So why not? I need to do it anyway, so we can also live stream it like other famous live streamers do. Before we continue, I have one question for the audience. I'm rocking here some old switches. And we have more, we have also even older crap, but these are the main switches that we use here in the company. Brought a couple of those, and I'm not sure, so actually fun fact, not a paid product admin because they may be a piece of garbage as so often with IT equipment, but one thing, first of all, this already RMA, extended warranty replacement program, I think they failed, so at least two of them, so this and the other one on my main desk, those two already replaced me. You can't make this shit up, but they failed already 8 years ago, so we brought them 10 years ago, they failed after 2 years. I think two of them just didn't stop working, or I don't know, overheated, whatever. So they already replaced. Why do I hold this in the audience? I would like recommendation. We also have some 16 or so port Netgear or whatever. That was something of that sort between the servers. But I'm also not satisfied. So my question to the audience, long story short, do you have small home office, 10,000 gigabit Ethernet recommendation? Because why do I ask? So this piece of old garbage still works. However, there is one issue, and or two issues, and maybe, so today I'm streaming from the AMD Ryzen that we also probably later today upgrade the memory, maybe in a couple of minutes. But so, which by the way is this? We have here, if config, do we have this ETH also best focused? E0, so that is, was it Intel or IGB driver? And so this AMD Ryzen does not reliably get linked, so I usually have to plug in the cable 2 or 3 times, and I think reliably, so I'm not sure. Why do I ask? Do you have something? Of course I know there are new Linksys, there are new Netgear, there are new Netgear, what is the other? Anyway, before I order some random crap on Amazon, where of course the product reviews are by some small home user stuff who do not have much of a clue. By the way, I think those do not support jumbo frames. I think once we had a customer project where we had to do where we worked on some kernel stuff for them, and we needed something that supports jumbo frames. Jumbo frames, I think as far as I remember, larger than 1,500 bytes. So the usual Ethernet frames are usually 1,500 bytes in size, and I think this do not support this, unfortunately. So there was, from this old piece of garbage, there was, again, this was 10 years ago, right? There was a new revision. Here, this is version 2.1. But I think even this 2.1 revision does not support jumbo frames. I think even from this old piece of garbage, there was 8 years ago, unfortunately, with a warranty replacement, we did not get those jumbo frame capable, I think. Anyway, this is why we, one of the reasons we brought this. But this Netgear, whatever, this is some managed piece of garbage with support for VLAN tagging. I'm not the greatest fan of this managed stuff, because then you have a password and the switch has an IP address, and I'm not really that comfortable with all the Internet of Stuff hacking and lack of firmware upgrades, so I'm not the most thrilled that this other jumbo frame and VLAN capable managed switch that has an IP address and login. Anyway, what do you recommend if I buy? So yeah, this EGB not always getting link, and also then the TG3, not sure. The funny thing is, maybe this TG3 in the aging failing Mac Mini is also related to the switch, maybe sucking, I don't know. But what is funny with the TG3, of course, in the Mac Mini, if I reliably, like 99% of the time, when the internet comes up, the link comes up, it works for normal browsing. When I live stream, usually the TG3 breaks down with, I posted it, ring transmit stuck and stuff. And then when I take, so on the TG3, even with all the kernels and everything, latest kernels doesn't make a change. If I then take the interface down and up again, then it like 99% of the time works reliable for even massive YouTube live streaming, which by the way, 78 drop frame, 0.7%, good job, AMD Ryzen. So yeah, comments in the audience, build your own router, yes, but I'm not looking for a router. I'm also, ideally, power consumption. This old piece of stuff also actually gets quite hot. I should, by the way, so I'm not really looking into a router. I need switches. I have a router, a Linux, T2 Linux based, of course. Let's say using 3Com Hewlett Packard Enterprise only. Yeah, so the problem with this is managed, right? I don't really want stuff that people can hack. Well, unless when they're already in our internet, it's already a problem. But anyway, then you forget the login credentials, and I just also energy consumption, right? This old stuff gets quite warm. I don't really like this on the desks for world overshoot, Earth overshoot day, and global warming. Ideally as low. I also don't quite understand why. Well, yeah, high speed and tech and such, but can this stuff not be? I mean, eight port switch shouldn't be that energy hungry, right? Is it even written? Even another point. Another point is this is a wall wart for those, yeah, links this. Why do they still come with this old? Can they not make a switching power supply? This is also, if I order some random stuff on maybe purchased in, was it 12.1 model? No, probably not. If I would, yeah, 12 volt amps, so 12 watt, and yeah, ideally as energy efficient as possible, right? I also don't quite understand. Well, of course, certainly costs this wall wart old-fashioned transformer piece of garbage, certainly the cheapest crap they can source. Certainly made in China. And ideally switching power supply, but somehow I don't really have the feeling that some 30, 40, 50 buck switch for the desk, any of those, but correct me if I'm wrong, I've not ordered one in 10 years. If any of those has a small compact switching power supply, because yeah, energy efficiency and also cluttered of crap on. Well, of course theoretically maybe I should I need to check if our other fancy thing has power over Ethernet, power injector. Maybe it would be a better setup to run this, not have wall bricks and power this over Ethernet maybe, and have there one central switch, power over Ethernet inject, and have no walls on the desk. Maybe that's actually a way to go. That being said, we have some updates to do. Yeah, so this is just some random live stream, because actually I was considering live streaming last night, because no kidding, I was in the office until 1 o'clock debugging on this Canon scanner, making this the most expensive driver development project ever. Had to find some error bits there for some error handling, and yeah, this is also ridiculous that vendors need to change stuff every other day, and sorry, that is coffee. Should mute the microphone probably next. I need to have, by the way, I have here volume keys on the Sun keyboard. Maybe I should make some microphone volume. Professionalizing. Oh, by the way, it's getting hot. Need to switch on some ventilation. Not aircon, of course. It's cold enough. Also, I just need to ventilate some fresh air in here. So yeah, I actually considered live streaming at 1 in the night, but then I was actually so tired and just wanted to get some sleep, that just to prove the point. Let's see, I think by the way, does it download? Yeah, now it downloads. I wanted to update this yesterday already, GlibC. I didn't download it, they didn't. So of course some news sites already announced this GlibC release before even they had the source table up on their global FTP site. There are comments in the audience. Sixel also supposed to be good in the enterprise department, but I don't have any experience with them. Yeah, that is, I could order some, like all of them on Amazon, but I'm also not, I just wanted to ask the audience because I also don't like to order 3 switches and send 2 of them back, but maybe I should do this. Biggest, yeah, also energy efficiency also and volts, but maybe I should really up this gear and go with power over Ethernet injection. Yeah, so GlibC, while this is recompression with set standard, which, yeah, this is an aging Intel Xeon. Where is my other? Is here. Locally we want update Blender, and Blender will be, Blender of course is 3D stuff, and this will be a larger update because I think the last updates might not have compiled anymore, and then the amazing stuff on open source, random changes, they for sure have changed the build system. I tried to build it already on the server yesterday and it failed, likely because whatever build system changes they have. And also there, again, the recurring theme here to those people who say, who applaud on news sites, yay, they switch to CMake and Mensen and Ninja and whatnot. Yeah, all the 1000 Linux distribution who need to fiddle their build system and adapt this. So much time wasted, because the one thing I really don't like to do very much is fiddling with the build system. And yeah, so we can build here in parallel, although it's an aging Intel outdated Xeon stuff, which is why we update here our Ryzen today, maybe with 64 GB of memory when it arrives maybe the next minutes here when the doorbell rings. And so what we also need to test is 64-bit multi-lib GlibC, 32-bit flavor. And yeah, also a fun fact, if you do not rent a server, so in previous times we outsourced a little bit more to data centers, we scaled this back. So if you pay for a cheap root server 30 something euro plus VAT, that if you're a company you might get back. If you spend 300 something, 60 euro for a root server, yeah, you get some internet and energy use for that, but otherwise you could also put the money here in local builds and you have local stuff for testing. Of course, it's a total different thing. If you need availability and bandwidth, you know, with this failing DOCSIS cable here, not the most amusing, but for this T2 build stuff, massive open source build stuff, at least you have the hardware then, but yeah, you need to pay the electricity and internet bandwidth also, so not directly comparable. But for our case, if we scale some of those back for source build jobs, then we have some local gear for testing, for memory to plug back and forth, and CPUs to benchmark and test. So yeah, this stuff starts compiling, and then yeah, just documenting what kind of stuff we do each and every day. I have the feelings this Blender will for sure not compile. Let's disable tempfs, because otherwise the sources will be gone, and normally you of course do this in the parallel jobs. This is 8 core, let's use like, I don't know, 12 or something to leave something for OBS. And this will for sure fail, just to document how much work it is each and every day keeping this stuff updated. And the last years I didn't even care too much about Blender. And yeah, so this is CMake, apparently not even sure if that is the latest and greatest. Because this is also the thing, the packages often have multiple build systems and then configuring done. Oh, just doing something. It's more than happened on the build server, but see already the frame drops occurring here. But actually it says rendering with 30 frames, interesting. Anyway, they also need a new graphic card. This is still the super cheap skatish entry-level RX 560D or so, the Chinese cheapskate SKU. And I would want to try the latest and greatest Radeon, what was it, 5700 or something. The only problem with this, they don't even fit into this mini ITX case, right? I think it doesn't fit in there. Probably not. So yeah, if I test this latest and greatest high performance, then unless I buy a new case, I need to put it on open bench installation here. So yeah, and power consumption and stuff like that. So yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised it actually starts building. So there's probably some fancy 3D package missing on the server there. That's actually more than I expected. And yeah, so this stuff starts compiling here. Just a boring job of... So if you think you become famous with running your open source distribution, the 1002nd Linux distribution, maybe not. Yeah, of course this failed with something. It was Blender. Error stick, no, that's error. Compilation of where would we here we have some error. That is not a literal because error is a type of const open image. Util param, the type of const open image, const expression is not a literal. Okay, fine. Exactly this kind of amazing C++ errors you wanted to see. That will not be fun. Open image. Open image IO found. Maybe it's, if you're lucky, it's just too old. So is update open. Is it open image? No. Summer image IO. Maybe it is that. I have no idea. Maybe it's totally outdated. The thing is also a recurring theme. This websites change. By the way, is this camera image too bright? It's a little bit brightish. These packages also change the websites, which is a little bit inconvenient. This is too dark, that is too bright, but whatever, right? Doesn't matter too much. And then this is slightly inconvenient if you track the changes and all the websites are gone. Most likely this is also already 2 years old. But the last years the T2 desktop stuff was on live support. We mostly used it on embedded systems, servers, virtualization and stuff. So this is only now with macOS peak bugs and the YouTube channel that I actually get to open image, that I get to update all this fun stuff again. Apparently the change to sites Google.com. If it is even that, maybe I should actually grab here, but probably should be that. Not really likely that there is another. Was it open image or? Did it not say open image? No, open image IO, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, also what I wanted to say, super annoying that you constantly need to hunt these websites when they're constantly changing, and then this is also so annoying. You can't make this shit up only live on YouTube. I really hate this so much. This is GitHub, of course, GitHub, because latest release, and then you can like totally not use this in a distribution here. This annoying release zip. I mean, I can't package here some unversioned stuff. Just did not even want to say this. Total surprise to me that this is not fun. Don't do this. I mean, this huge projects like GitHub, they really should know this better than that. And yeah, 209 is certainly a decade older than we can actually for open image IO. As we unlock this here just for the fun of it. How old is it? Yeah, I added this only once. Well, it's not a decade old, right? So it's only 2017, but that is when this stuff is on this changing websites and stupid download release latest nonsense here. And let's see, do we get, here we get actually about the release. Even this is stupid. that even this I can't archive at this because this is release 209, which is already better, but I can't. What are these people thinking? This should be named OpenImageIO 209 and not release. I can't imagine if each project has starballs like release. I mean, can't feed this to the mirrors, and it's certainly fine colliding there, and it's hilarious. I also don't understand why I need to make a YouTube channel to tell those people. Is nobody else here? But by the way, yeah, this was already this same stuff here. So we probably, where is the release stuff? Releases. Let's see if we can get this trained here to T2. So you see this was already this stupid stuff, and then our nightly tracker can't update this because it's so stupidly named. Let's see if we can get this to automatically track with that, but maybe not. Maybe I need to improve the code for that. OpenImageIO. Yeah, this doesn't work yet, so yeah, YOLO. So OpenImageIO, let's do that another day, probably a topic for another live stream. What was even the release, 209 or something of that sort. And even here you need this mouse over. Here you need this, can't even copy the version here of this. You need to mouse over here to find the version, unless, okay, you can copy it here, but somehow, I mean, this worked decades ago, and in this day and age it's this strange naming nonsense. It's ridiculous. But as usual, leave me in the comments below. Probably I start flame war again and people unsubscribe with me commenting like this. The rate limiting is annoying. What do you mean with rate limiting? You mean download? Let's see if we can build this. Build package OpenImageIO 209. I also noticed a couple of people deleted their donation on Patreon. I was already at 62, now we are at 54 or 3 or something, which, by the way, huge shout out for everyone supporting us on Patreon, amazing stuff. But if you remove your pledge, I can totally understand. Maybe you need your money certainly for your life and fun stuff. But if you do this, maybe leave a comment that I know what it is. Anything from busy in life with I don't like your content anymore, or you don't do enough PS3, or you don't do enough SJ Octane. Because honestly, if you just unsubscribe or delete your pledge, I have no idea what's going on. And certainly to produce way more higher quality content, if not me reverse engineering here a week, the most expensive scanner ever. If you want me to do more open source stuff, then more sharing, liking, subscribing and pledging is welcome, because otherwise with $53 months, I can only do one quality video a week and not each and every day, in case you are looking into that. So yeah, that is building. Let's hope that fixes the Blender update, because by the way, they also see amazing build infrastructure, right? Usually this CMake should have said already this image IO is not new enough, and not, and let me end up here with this esoteric and hard to parse build error. Although I'm somewhat in C++, I honestly did not follow the latest and greatest fancy C++ stuff. I'm also not using the last 10 years of fancy C++ features, because it's too esoteric and unreadable to me. I don't enjoy it very much. And then this whatever this type error or something there is, it's yeah. Yeah, let's see how many people do we even have tuned, and we can also keep this shorter. You've seen some updates already. So yeah, this is how it looks to run a Linux distribution each and every day. Hunting updates, hunting build errors, and sometimes they go away if you update stuff. Yes, it's installed. Does it also theoretically we could? What is package? No, it did. This is even sometimes also good to double check that it's in the right direction. lib64 that I prefer. So then let's commit this, OpenImageIO. Yep, that looks good so far. And then let's try to build Blender again. And while we are at it, we can multitask to GlibC also built, at least on segmentation faults. That is not, yeah, this segmentation faults again for some stupid reason. That is of course not amazing. let's see this. Yeah, this was 386, also 386 in the form of 586 or 686 or whatever I pencil optimized just for the vintage. And yeah, we have the Sony Vario P, right, and other fun Atom stuff. And yeah, this I also had this, but actually this could not be. I had this once cross-compiling from, because the server installation is slightly older, so I have, or it's a virtual machine anyway, a QEMU KVM. But this is older because by update, so this is like super old. Actually, fun fact, you can't really hack this anyway because it's not directly exposed to the internet. This is just my vintage T2 build machine. And this is, by the way, also some political message, as you love them so much that all of you unsubscribe. In terms of World Overshoot Day and global warming, you can also save some energy if you already have some root server for web services for you and your company and maybe your customers. And so you have some root server running, and it's running anyway, so it's already consuming quite some wattage. And so what I did here, for example, this is on our web server also, so we have this running anyway, and then when most of the resources already spent keeping the server running, I can also have a virtual machine doing all my compile testing, certainly, just for energy efficiency maximization. This is, no I didn't, so version, so this is, yeah, 2010, already approaching. There you see how much time flies. You install this 2010, or maybe, okay, I built this 2010, maybe I installed it 2011. So yeah, time is running so fast, and it's actually not too bad to use this old release to test this, because people might also use older stuff, and you test the new stuff. We test anyway because it is recompiling, right? It's bootstrapping. So when we bootstrap some distribution like this build for the P3 or Octane, okay, not really. What is this noise? Something failing? Actually, not with those cross builds, because the cross builds do not natively recompile, but at least we test them when we install on the P3 and SG Octane. But the native builds like x86, like those reference test builds where I usually try to build everything, then I test this already. So the glibc and GCC, they are stress tested with recompiling the whole system, and then X server and all the fancy stuff, like all the 3000 or maybe soon approaching 4000, I don't know, packages. This is already stress tested, so it's not a bad thing for me to have a very vintage installation and test bootstrapping from a really old release, just in case of comments in the audience. I thought I was Linux on a T2 Mac for a second. No, we don't buy crap Macs, peak bugs and stuff, just that all the big companies, they are even less creative. By the way, fun fact, so the T2 Linux that's a fork of Rock Linux, which doesn't exist anymore. Before I was heavily contributing to Rock Linux, stable release maintainer, doing desktop Rock Linux, and forked this for professional embedded system stuff reasons. And nowadays T2 is the only thing that is left from this era. And T2, fun fact, I said this already a couple of times, but I can repeat this for the new people in the audience, which is, I switch off the light and now it's too dark here. It's up here, the studio lighting. T2 was an interim name when we forked this, and we named this for like try 2, so T2 like try 2, second try, something of that sort. And actually we were thinking to name it somewhere like Aurora, or I don't know, just to call it some fun Spark Linux name. And yeah, then after a couple of months, of course, too many people used it already all over the internet, and then they said, okay, we'll just keep it T2. We had probably already domain register, and said, yeah, okay, fine. Then we keep it like this. And I'm really surprised that there is now so much. There was a DVB, like digital video broadcasting stuff from, I don't know, Elgato or Teratech or something, called T2. There was a Sun microprocessor T2. There was now this Apple T2 stuff. I really wonder that the companies don't have a more creative marketing department than our unsuccessful one-man Linux distribution. Of course, this also failed again. I think it probably compiled further, didn't it? Fatal error, Python, yeah, no, some Python stuff is No such file directory in NumPython. Apparently some. Yeah, so you see, also fun fact, I personally would not mix so many different things in your project. You see, this failed, so Python here. Not even sure if this is no Python 3 or NumPy. Is this maybe also outdated? Yeah, of course, this also doesn't auto scan update stuff here because similar naming convention stuff. NumPython. SourceForge, let's see. NumPy. I do not accept. Get out of my way. So bloody cookies and whatever. What? There is not a new release in 1.11, but this is okay. Let's try to 1.11.2, although it is already from 2016. Not really sure. Also, another thing. So I'm really sorry that I need to say so many negative things, but this is just the reality, right? If I would here be Irene and just say buy the latest iPhone, probably don't need another Irene channel for that. Certainly enough other YouTubers for that already. I want that things become better, and one thing that is also really confusing is the versioning numbers. Right now I'm not even sure, is this a stable release? In good old-fashioned times from when I was younger, when I was 8 and such, 2 decades ago, stuff was really stable. Releases were even numbers, like 1.10 would be stable and 1.11 would be development branches. You can't even rely on this anymore, and so many people, so many projects have completely abandoned this kind of numbering scheme, and I was this is really wasting my time, because now I need to really Google here NumPy, or by the way, maybe this other link here works. NumPy, not found, thank you very much. This is exactly what I mean. You can spend here half of your life only hunting websites, really stop people still use it and all the websites are gone, thank you for that. That is life of Linux distribution. And now I need to Google and research here. Apparently, I should probably also update this NumPy. Why does this not autocomplete Python? NumPy expression, whatever. Maybe they have even more releases here because they have abandoned SourceForge. And you see, you BSD license. Where would be the download piece? This is ridiculous. On modern websites, you don't even find the download. I mean, you find the code of conduct easier than. Where would the license be installing? This is ridiculous. Fundamental array data structures. Documentation. So they seriously don't have a direct download link here on their front page. This is ridiculous. Can't even make this up. Some cool word Linux. Naming this version sounds like fun. Hey, here's 1.17.0. So obtaining. Yeah, so you spent even here a minute on the website built in here. So finally here are some downloads. Here, ouch. And by the way, so some things you can totally, if you don't want to donate or Patreon something, what is it, patronage, I totally understand. I am also total cheapskate. If you want to support us anyway, you can here, for example, you see websites. And what I also really don't like with Wikipedia, for example, that they deleted the English International article about T2. In previous times we had an article, but of course we were too much of a successful of one-man distribution, so someone from Debian or something, all those amazing contributors, some of those amazing contributors who always tells us we are unsuccessful one-man distribution and don't deserve a place on Wikipedia, has scheduled our article for deletion. So some 8 years ago or 7 years ago, our article was deleted there. I tried to revamp it already 2 times, but it's always in the submitting a new article process, always being deleted again as not as newsworthy enough. Thank you so much for that. I also understand, I find personally so much small stuff on Wikipedia that I find much less newsworthy than our T2. But Yeah, this is a community-run internet stuff. So my point is, if you want to support my efforts, you're also keeping all this vintage stuff alive, from Spark Station 2 to SJ Octane to PS3 and all the other fun stuff in between, Spark and whatnot, and vintage and retro. If you want to help me, then coffee, yes, here's coffee, which also you can of course donate us to buy more coffee beans, but also only Rivers a good dragon really likes this. Not a paid advertisement, just like the dragon. Not even liking this restaurant very much, but at least I flew this in from Taiwan. The last one time as a fun fact, so I flew this cup in from Taiwan, and then I noticed you can buy this in their German merchandise store as well. So I flew it in from Taiwan for nothing, but nonetheless, it's at least. Anyway, you can totally support us with adding our links, referral links here all over the internet. Here, for example, here I'm pretty sure we are not noted here. I wonder, is this a wiki or not? Anyway, if you have some time to spare, you can totally go to all those websites and add their, hey, there is also a package. Sometimes these sites are Wikipedia sites and you can just add this, and otherwise you can just write the authors, because of course we have here numpy, I guess here. Best to the link. Of course, each of those awareness helps that some people like Debian people or something, the most friendly people from Debian, stop calling us unsuccessful one-man distribution. The more we are mentioned somewhere, and the more people come to our website, maybe doesn't help directly financially, but at least mentally. So this apparently looks like it still builds, and let's just commit this, although we don't really. Wait a second, I had here num package, was it not numpy? Here. For whatever reason, let's update here the two websites, apparently outdated anyway, so let's also update SciPy. Was it not numpy? Was numpy? Of course, they need to spread this over multiple domains because importance. So also, if you are looking for updates on P3 and SJ Octane and all the other fun stuff in between, you can of course send patches in, right? Nothing is better if I can focus more on writing more amazing code and I don't sit here in the morning and the evening and midnight and stuff, and Saturday and Sunday updating all this fun stuff. You can do this and do it yourself, run it on the P3 or wherever you want, a Spark Station 2 or something of that fun, and send patches in then, and usually test this. I mean, if it's tested, it's the best. Also update, there's a download URLs and fun stuff. Everything welcome. What is there? The ghosting effect on the terminal. That is a retro cool terminal. Let me read here. Cool retro term that I usually use. I don't use this for daily use for energy efficiency reasons. Certainly this burns quite some electrons in the GPU for this fancy effect. I only use this. I don't use it daily. I only use it for the better look of making this live streams greater again. And so some updates here. I made a video about this, so you find this in some videos. If you want to support me, you can also just watch the old videos and stuff. But otherwise, you also find this, by the way, in the T2 packages. So cool. Cool retro term. Cool retro term. Find it there in the. Can probably paste the links there for the greatest coverage. Let's update. So numpy update for where would be the available packages. Py. Let's see if this computes. Oops. Yeah, of course this does not compute, because why should this still download? And you see how annoying this is. Oh, it's on GitHub now. So it's probably an amazingly similar named. I really don't understand this big sites. How can this be integrated so that the downloads are so stupidly numbered? Hello, where is the download link? Oh, come on. And the changes are. Here's something. Finally, we reached. Hey, they could really name this. I think this naming is maybe manual, maybe, but because I also don't understand why is each package on GitHub naming this themselves. Why is this not integrated NumPy? Why is this not integrated that all the namings are amazing? I really don't get this at all, that this needs to be so stupid. By the way, maybe this will most likely not automatic version track, so let's directly make this great and add here check version URL, that maybe our nightly tracker tracks this if we are lucky. Yeah, this could maybe. It looks like this could actually automatically track, which is of course a help if then I don't. Nothing is more annoying than having each morning and night open. Nobody, even like non-successful more than one-man distribution at Debian, nobody can go each and every week and month through all the 10,000 or whatever packages they might have, and the changelog should really be a link. Doesn't build because what is now? What did we not? Okay. Did I not run? Oh, maybe I manually edited this probably. Yeah. Also, not only is a comments in the audience that changelog should really be a link. Yeah, YOLO, whatever. But really, all those releases on GitHub should be nicely named. I mean, nobody can mirror this with release and seriously, what are they thinking? All those releases should be automatic from the Git tags and not manually messed and edited there, and they should be all project name -version and not release, or some have just the version number like V, like seriously, no kidding, V, maybe even sets, no, of course it also didn't build Python 3.5 required. I have this, maybe the problem is also with this bloody Python that maybe let's delete this and link Python 3 to user bin Python for a test. Probably should edit the package, build that to build with Python 3. But yeah, the math that is a Python ecosystem. But yeah, maybe even set standard. We can check while we wait there for the T2 package set standard, and maybe, yeah, so they have here archive version. This is also, I can't make this up. This is hilarious. How can they, I mean, this is better than release, but this is, why is this not set standard -version 1.4? I mean, seriously, what is wrong with all the open source people? And it's, I don't know what's, it's like not only with politicians, but also with open source stuff. I sometimes have the feeling I'm in those famous Star Trek Next Generation parallel universe where everything is not amazing anymore. Something of that sort. More comments in the audience that version number table are automatically generated from Git tags. Yeah, but why are then some amazing? So does it mean you need to tag them? Well, I said they should be automatically versioned, right? Just said, is this here? Yes, see, yeah, also here archive 1.1 tar, you see, yes, the same. So in all of those bloody stupid table names, I need to manually we have in T2 already since like always, since forever, since for 2 decades, we have the support to rename files during download. So all of those we need to specially tag to rename to same names, because we can't populate our mirrors with we or 1.1 tar gset or v141. It's hilarious, or really stable stable.tar.gset. But does it mean that they need to tag this? So then probably we can check with probably, or did I close this already? Where's our numpy? Does it mean they need to tag with, we can check here with this probably, pause one. No, but they have tagged this as 1. This cannot be entirely, because now I was thinking maybe they need to tag this then as numpy-1, but they have only tagged this as apparently v117. So yeah, still, if it's automatically named, then why does most packages, maybe they manually edited this here better naming, but this is, it's, yeah, whatever. It's because other packages don't have this as numpy, but with just version anyway. So whatever, it's up with it. So yeah, some Python, Glibberish, so whatever. Let's commit this. These shared files are okay for me. I can fine tune that another day. Other things to do. So then let's another try of Blender. All we wanted to do is update Blender, but the good thing is all those updates, which also we did this marathon update of GNOME and KDE, all these huge updates like those also catch some of those less neglected and not as updated stuff like NumPy and all these audio images. You know, there are like 100 image libraries and 100 audio libraries. So yeah, so updating all of those, any of those always helps with, yeah, you spent your 30 minutes, but then at the end you have like 3, 2, 4, 5, whatever. GitHub doesn't append the repo name to the table file name yet. Yeah, some had this, the last one had this, but yeah, this, I also noticed that some, like they, well, actually, so this is also really strange. I checked this with, if you load this in the browser, I think the web server of GitHub is actually returning, they are returning a redirect. So I think I noticed this, like maybe with set standard or maybe even all of them. So there is some automatics behind, but it doesn't help me much, right? This is then even more work. If I copy and paste this download link, it doesn't help me that it also redirects. So many of those I've noticed they redirect, like from version 1.4 tar gset, you get then some permanent redirect, whatever that status code is, to then set standard version something, but it doesn't help me copy and pasting the link for the download there. Anyway, not amazing. So something is happening there behind the scene, but now they have their years of legacy of stupid tarball names. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, you also see even on this Ryzen, this is the Ryzen from last year, still waiting for stuff coming up as soon as the. But by the way, fun fact: I didn't order the memory from Amazon. Not only the supersized, latest and greatest 32 gig modules that hopefully arrive here any minute. That I mentioned in another news the other day. I didn't order them from Amazon, but some local supplier. Not only did Amazon not list them, also fun fact: the whole Ryzen build is from a local supplier, because I wanted to already build a Ryzen the year before, but Amazon never had this mini IT exports for AM4 in Germany listed. And I was waiting every other month opening, because of course it's convenient, although it destroys the local IT industry. Of course I understand it's convenient. So I ordered this Ryzen build because then I finally wanted it a year later, and Amazon still didn't have list. Maybe in the meantime they list them, but then I really ordered at some local IT supply. And this is also just, you may not get always the latest and greatest IT stuff on Amazon. And because I want to test this for you guys, because I have no idea, of course it's not official listed as supported here, this new 32 gig, because not only is it brand new, but the vendors, even if it works, sometimes the vendors are a little bit lazy, like ASUS and stuff. They also want to sell new boards, right? So it doesn't accelerate and improve their sales if they list for previous year models memory support. So it may or may not work, we will see later. But yeah, this is, you see Blender, but certainly you've seen Rust and Firefox compiled here for 30 minutes, even on this 8-core 16 threads. This is why we want this upgrade as soon as September, as soon as available for 16 threads and 16 cores and 32 threads as soon as this is shipping. Yeah, quite some updates in the morning. You see, just documenting here some daily IT fun. I hope this is successful. Other people solder on their MacBook repairs, and I hope that showing here some recurring updates. Yeah, regarding the Switch, not really sure if I want to have this old professional gear, because not only are they huge, I need here some switches. You need for all the tinkering, so some 8-port switch for the desk side, switch for the local fun here on 2 or 3 desks. So probably not going that route. Need to check what the Cyxel, or how is it pronounced? We had some Christian wrote Cyxel, probably Cyxel, whatever. Maybe they have 8-port switches. What happened? Of course it again fails. What is now happening? And there you see configure test, right? you have configure test and then it still fails because reasons. What is now going on here? Fatal error, still numpy, no file. Nah, we updated this but it doesn't build. So yeah, we could actually maybe actually maybe no. So this is, let's grab here, is it even installed? So there, the complexity of open source var adm. So in T2, I hope it's on screen. Yeah, it is on screen if it's not. By the way, I was thinking to maybe change the video capture. Is that one? I was thinking maybe moving that up there is helpful or something. Is this helpful to anyone? Because then we would have the typing. I noticed in some of the streams the typing was covered also. Do you like this if it's more gapped, but probably it covers too much? Huh? Or is this cooler? I don't know. Leave me in the comments below. Because then it doesn't cover the, oops, that was a tripod. So in T2, all this administration stuff is plain old. So this is side packages. So this, maybe this is with Python versus, maybe I need to deinstall the old version, but this is somehow an old version, right? No, but it is 117, but it is, oh no, it is 3.7. Didn't immediately spot it because 2737. It's there though, but just doesn't, whatever. Maybe get rid of the old one. Yeah, this is totally annoying when stuff doesn't build with this esoteric build errors. The gap is a little bit nicer. That is, yeah, also then if you have like a cool phone, like not like a crap phone, like an iPhone, but a better phone, if you use those wider phone like my Samsung Galaxy S10e, then you lose some of those sides anyway if you zoom this out. Maxi, on the right. So yeah, a little bit annoying to get this build errors done because the code base is also huge, and if you start poking around there in those errors and those build scripts, then you easily can sit there 1 hour and dissect this infrastructure of CMake. This is also a little bit annoying for me, this 20 build systems. Again, the recurring theme people upload the Manson and whatnot, also since you're running CMake. Maybe they also have Manson, so I don't know. But for me, it is super annoying to adapt each time you see it's not like all the people always tell me, yeah, running a Linux distribution is no work. Like, yeah, it's no work. All the time you spend trying to get the stuff to build, and then trying to figure out with each and every project, CMake, Manson, Ninja, what else does exist? CMake, yeah, of course, Makefile and whatnot, Boost, and not Boost, Gem, and all the other fun stuff in between there. So yeah, what I try usually most of the time, over 50% of the time, 60-70% of the time, the errors go away if you rebuild this cleanly, unfortunately, because just it's using some old header somewhere, or Python 2 versus Python 3 or whatnot. But then I might just commit this, because commit Blender, let's see. So this is 170, it's controlling this. This is why I only have the build output scrolling by for the YouTube views. When I work on this, I usually don't have this verbose terminal scrolling enabled, because I like to continue working on this terminal. And as you see, then obviously your text output is scrolling away. We can shortly check what other version we had there. T2 package Blender. Also, even if you're not into T2 and you are totally happy with Debian and Gentoo and whatnot, you still might find our package matrix stuff here usable. To look up stuff, totally welcome and best shared. If you use our stuff like patches and configuration, everything's directly linked here, like configuration for sources. Actually, this is running cast main. Is it even still using scons? Actually, now that I see this, I should rewrite this because this is totally old-fashioned vintage. Not what we recommend. This cast main support is going away. Fun fact, I should probably, there you see so much you can make a YouTube video about and live stream like Louis Rossmann, their repair stuff. Fun fact, just some months ago, not even too long ago, in the winter, January, whatever, I converted, because there are not so many. What cast main means is that this overrides the whole automated build procedure, because we have really many automation, like if there's a make file, a CMake, Mensen and whatnot, then certain automations are run so that you normally don't need to write code. You see this package has, even this package has really little code, and cast main basically disables all the automated build processes. It's not ideal, and I will most likely, there are not many packages left, like maybe 20 or so, because I recently, just this winter or something, I was sitting there. You see, it's no work. I was sitting there like 4 hours in an evening or night or something, and just converting one package. And most of those packages are not the most amazing packages, like small utility stuff, like contribution stuff that's not, like toy package of random crap, something. And so it's not even like I gain something, because most of these packages I would never use. Someone contributed them, added them, like some joystick package or something, whatever. So yeah, I only do this to finally, well, keep T2 up to date and improve code quality, but yeah, not really like I have something outstanding for my virtual machines or embedded boards. But nonetheless, I will soon delete this. There are not so many left. The biggest thing left is actually the Linux kernel, because the Linux kernel has so much auto configuration glue for an all modular kernel with all the patching, with all the architectures. Converting and testing this will take a couple of, maybe even a whole afternoon. This is here. The only reason I've not yet removed this cast main function override support glue, that this even still works, is actually the Linux kernel. So yeah, but this is 200 lines of code or something in T2 shell configuration stuff, and yeah, this is why Linux kernel and then this cast main goes away. But how you do this, actually, I could theoretically do this in this live stream. The problem is, the more we wait here and work on code and stuff, the longer the live stream becomes. Although we think we have some people watching, which is obviously super cool. And yeah, actually more people watching again. This is, of course, nice to see the growing audience here. If this builds, or maybe even if it doesn't, because honestly, I will end the live stream sometime soon, 10 minutes or something. How long is this even going already? Is this counter running actually? Maybe here in hour already. There you see maintaining a Linux distribution is absolutely no work. 1 hour gone again. Even if this again fails with the same numpython error, then by the way, if you have a tip for this, contributions welcome, tips welcome, because I will most likely do something else now. I have other work, including continuing the 6,000 euro Canon scanner detail stuff. Here it's some port style, Gen 2 style. It exists since 1998, created in form of Rock Linux by Clifford Wolf, and I made the desktop Rock Linux, became stable release maintainer, one of the biggest contributors there a decade ago, until we forked this for more professional audience. So it's not like we reinvented the wheel recently. This is 20 years of legacy, and yeah, built from source with cross-compile support. So I don't know, maybe 50% or so cross-compile. So for the SGA Octane, for the PS3 PowerPC stuff, of course you can natively compile on those, just the 200, 400 megahertz MIPS, or even 3 gigahertz PS3 is not the fastest. Yeah, failed similar. I will not bother with this Blender because I don't need this today. The famous last words until I need it tomorrow. But if you have tips how to fix this build error, I will just commit this actually. Maybe just let's commit this here. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, 275. Not sure if that was the previous stable version. Maybe not, because I have not updated this in quite a while. Let's see. Is this even scons, or looks like it probably is this. From all the, by the way, I forgot to mention scons from. You see so many build systems I already start to forget. when I try to iterate them. Let's convert this here because this cast main needs to die. So how this works, probably the most easiest thing, and by the way, maybe this doesn't even install all files. I think this, you see amazing build systems, right? Maybe this sconst didn't even have an install because it's only installing here this bin Blender. Maybe that's not even enough anymore, I don't know. There you see totally no time to maintain this and need to Google this and look this up soon. But to convert this, this would be make inst opt to disable the automatics, because otherwise it will probably try to run as a last resort, maybe something like, by the way, should check. I'm not even sure if we have automatics for scons. No, probably not. Make opt, so clear those, make inst opt. Maybe we could even change our build system, probably know that more and more packages get away from make files to only run a make file if it's there. There is already configure and all these other files. So make opt, and then these are already hooks. Oh, wait a second, what if I even done here? Is this? Oh, but this. Wait a second, I'm confused. What was in there? Ah, this is already. Why does this not correlate? This is already converted. Maybe I. Wait a second, somehow. Ah. No, what? Ah, maybe I just accidentally committed this. Oops. So you see, I apparently had this already locally converted so much. No, I didn't pay too close. Yeah, here's a conf. So there was a conversion already. I said some months ago I did this conversion, so now it was not. Usually the shit happens when you live stream on YouTube. So we accidentally committed this already. You see, this was a change that I just wanted to do. And so just what I said, actually didn't read this. Yeah, so probably I converted this already. So I had this already in my working copy as this cast main. And apparently I wanted to say you need to clear this make opt and make inst opt. And I said maybe we should adapt the script so that they don't run the make file. Apparently this is already the case. As this works here, as per the latest change, here we don't clear the make opt. So apparently I made this change already sometime in the past. And the only thing is then instead of this cast main function, you do this with hooks. You have all the automatics, all the automation runs. Like, is there a make file? Is there a mention, automake, configure stuff? And only when not, then do other stuff. And what we do here, we hook into this automated process. And at the pre-conf stage, run here mkd object dsc, the object dsc make. And theoretically, another day, we probably should add some automation for cmake that we even can get rid away of this here. But yeah, it doesn't yet build because random changes always. Yeah, I wish the packages would build a little bit more, just build TM, but sometimes you see esoteric numpys and whatever is wrong with that stuff. I hope you learned something and found this interesting. If you have some vintage machines that you maybe want to run T2 on. Also, we support alternative C libraries if you are new to this, so not only glibc, by the way, we could also commit this, right? We were working on that commit. So yeah, this did not segmentation fault, so only the LD Linux here of one build segmentation faulted. I probably commit this. So you see, even the glibc does not always just compile. I think this was, here's a build reference. I think it was a 5 glibc. Yeah, segmentation fault, I think. Segmentation fault here. Yeah, this one. I wonder slightly if we can cross-compile this. So whatever is up with that one, I had something similar. This might be related with cross-compile bootstrapping with an old compiler. I once had this strange thing for AMD 64. This compiled. In any case, if there is still an issue, I need to tackle that another day. So far, I guess we can already commit this here. 229, 230, just that you, yeah. Point of this video, new GlibC version, new Blender version in case even for your Gentoo and Debian and all this fun other distribution stuff. Let's commit this already, good enough for me for the first try if there is something seriously wrong. But in any way, I'm most likely for the keep it stupid small minimal from the previous videos. If you're interested in this GCC-less system or GNU-less system with Clang, LLVM and Musel as a C library, smaller C library alternative of all the alternatives T2 support. So I will most likely try to test those more on 386, yeah, on Atom, of course, 686 Atom here on the Sony Vaio P or something of that sort, maybe even the PS3, but maybe not on the PS3 because we have too much stuff to do. So I think my time is better spent actually really working on the hardware acceleration on the PS3, on the SGI Octane, on the Impact. We still need to finish also the hardware cursor colors. The hardware cursor works, just the colors somehow it's super esoteric how to program the colors in the ROM deck on the Impact boards there on the SGI Octane. And comments in the audience, they have a Musel installation, not on T2 though. So are you happy with this? Is this Alpine Linux or which Linux is this? Or if you already get the comments, by the way, pretty cool that we have some 11 or something people, I think, in the 10 right now. Fun stuff. And probably Alpine, right? I think uses Musel. The ceiling actually, so I will actually put just probably like right now, I will end the live stream and from all the fun stuff. So yesterday I spent mostly, if you're interested, the previous video, the most expensive scanner I reverse engineered. I was sitting here until after 1 o'clock in the night, not making that shit up. Reverse engineering just one bit, probably the most expensive bit I ever reverse engineered, some error indication bit, took hours to find. I mostly was sitting here in the office until 1 o'clock, and maybe the next time I just make a short live stream just to prove that I'm really not making this shit up. The reason is that this expensive scanner needs to go back to Canon unfortunately soon, and my customer, if you have lawyers waiting with their stacks of documents who want to scan their documents, then it's good to get this stuff working sooner than later, especially when this expensive scanner needs to go back to Canon sometime soon. And then eventually I would have loved to rather do something else, but if you have this, you need to do it anyway, right? So if you delay this another day, then you sit here like today. Otherwise I would have continued this morning. So I found the stupid bit and I can, well, still more stuff to do, because when you reverse engineer, there's always but one more bit to make something, to handle this better, to handle that better. There's always, yeah, also performance, right? In this video, previous video, the performance over network was not yet ideal. I optimized this already yesterday. Also, so yesterday was 16 hour or more. When did I went to the office yesterday? Yeah, something of 16 hours, maybe even 17. Anyway, Void Linux, okay. Someone asked, was it you who asked about Void Linux the other day? What I like about T2, first of all, people always ask me, have you tried this and this and that? No, I haven't. So, because I certainly run for 20 years my own Linux. And then I need to test this. Also, you see all the stuff testing, GlibC update, Blender update, Musel update. I rather tinker on my stuff. It's also more fun. For me, it's not fun to install some other Linux. It's like zero fun. The other things I would test, so I tested Dragonfly BSD already a little bit, even already 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I will probably test install Dragonfly BSD just for the fun of it, because it's said to have some a little bit hybrid kernel something. Certainly I will continue my own microkernel experiment stuff just another day. I installed Heiko already a couple of times just for the fun of it, and I will most likely, I know comments. Yes, Central Berlin, people need help, especially overheating, dehydration, global warming, you name it. Central Berlin, just like in New York, the theme of life going out here. And going on here, not going out. Theme of life. And yeah, Haiku, we will make videos about this fun stuff. Yes, I know already prominent people in the audience asking for this. But aside from this, Dragonfly BSD for the hybrid kernel testing, maybe. And then certainly more vintage retro video. I have here Voodoo stuff to finish. Still have on the bare metal voodoo to get triangles textured, and also yeah, this didn't segmentation fault. Let's see if we can change root into the new. Okay, also best not mistyped. Yeah, so then at least this works and doesn't segmentation fault, and that sort of. I had something similar with cross-compiling. Maybe it's some cross-compiling fluke there. And yeah, so what I want to say is I rather do more interesting things. I think it's also a better development, not another one making videos of I recommend iGarbage or testing Linux and whatnot. There are already enough of that. I probably better contribute on really writing low-level kernel, Octane, PS3, and yeah, PowerVR. We theoretically would want to reverse engineer. This is also why you should share, like, and subscribe. Not to make me happy, but the more subscriber and ad revenue we have here, the more time we can spend on reverse engineering all this fun stuff. And I'm really surprised that that there was not more PowerVR reverse engineering, because we have this Atom PowerVR based PulsePo stuff from GMA 500 stuff on the Sony Vario and stuff like that. I know, super huge project. This is why I can't make amazing videos each and every day. This is more amazing that you all tuned in and watched this, because I need to earn money in between, and so some random stuff I need to Blender and stuff. Anyway, actually, by the way, this reminds me, let's tune in, as we have some people. I said we want to end this live stream, but let's open email. This is why I need to change the scene here, not to leak my email here. And because we have some updates to do, I just remember our daily T2 updates, which today are, yeah, GlibC, we have done this. I can also probably show this part until there. Tmax, now their update is out, so that we have done. And then only live on YouTube, nearly leaking your personal emails. This update we need to test. Is this even 6.7? This is actually some. No, we don't need to test, because this looks beta. Do they also have some stable? Whatever, maybe not. Mercurial, also, yeah, version numbering, not even sure if this is stable or not, but whatever. Oops. Come on. Mouse wheel, also really don't like mouse wheel support. I wish one this would scroll and not navigate the history, but modern software. Let's see, this is here, latest stable we got there. This is Tmax 3.0, apparently coming. You heard it here first on this channel. With that, it's finally time to say thanks again for watching, and catch you soon for all the next live streams and videos to come.